our family, to act as if he'd never lived. This was how our father managed the family's grief, to pretend it never happened.
She became more introverted and withdrawn, like Tom was, sinking into a deeper kind of depression. She told me she'd made a promise that she would never forget him and would live her life secretly for the both of them. She started getting anxiety attacks, which...
Soon after, I decided that's it. I'd pull myself together, get on with life, but also do what I wanted. In my junior year, I won a role in the school play. Nerves, fear, applause. I finally felt fascinating. It was right there and then I decided to be an actress. I was just glad to see me do something other than what was expected of women. She was a true feminist and just told me to do what I wanted. So I went.
I had started out as an understudy, and I was always a pretty good flash actor. I could read a part without knowing what I was doing, and I could always get the part. Never could keep it, because I would get so excited that my voice would shoot way up in the top of my head, and I would get red in the face, talk too fast, and couldn't act when they were all sitting out there. Just petrified me. So I wrote Dad and said, would you back me in lessons? He wrote me and said he was winning bets on the golf course, and he considered that that was bad money, so he'd send it to me.
The first real friend I made there was Laura Harding. I met her through my acting coach, Robinson Duff. She was part of New York's high society and heir to the American Express fortune. She knew all the highbrow customs of the time and introduced me to her circle of friends in the theater world. Then Luddy, my old friend from back home, moved to New York, and in no time at all, he'd become part of our gang. He was my beau, too, from then on, and he was a real sweetheart. He made it his mission to do everything he could to make me a star. He paid for lessons, drove me to rehearsals, and helped me film my auditions. Being dropped from shows, and with only understudy roles, I was just about ready to give up. Sensing my sinking mood, Luddy proposed to me, and I thought, why not? We had a simple wedding, and I even convinced him to bring our friends, Jack and Laura, on our honeymoon.
Kate wanted to have a mate, but when she really tried to do that with Luddy, she realized that she was different, that her enormous energy would drive her insane very quickly. And within 2 weeks, she needed to move back to New York and continue her efforts.
A few days later, the call came in. Laura was to play the supporting role, and I was given the leading part in my first ever picture. Laura and I decided to move to Hollywood, and that was the beginning of the end for me and Luddy.
A bill of divorcement, Kate and Laura became part of George Cukor's close circle, attending his parties, making friends in the industry. Kate said that George would always sit her next to people that could help her in her career, but no one in Hollywood knew she was married. She was courting several big players in the industry, including her agent Leland Hayward, who taught her the ins and outs of negotiating with the studios.
She was anything but a big star. But she treated herself like a star in the negotiations. She wouldn't sign a term contract, and her agent, Leland Hayward, wouldn't let her.
My head after a little while of transcribing letters.
The press started calling Laura my other half, because when things kicked off, she helped take over every aspect of my life, becoming my wardrobe designer, press agent, and even negotiating with the producers and directors, putting her career on hold to look after mine.
Kate was off to a flying start, making back-to-back films. Bill of Divorcement is a hit. She's immediately offered a part in Christopher Strong. Then she makes Morning Glory, which, as we all know, is a hit. And then Little Women, but in one of the letters in our collection, she writes to her mother, "I'm not decided yet on Little Women, so I'm stalling about as long as possible." It's going to be a long production. It means she may have to give up theatrical roles in New York if she decides to make the film. It was never cut and dry decision-making. But Little Women became the most commercially successful film that Kate made, and the money she earned still manages.
Dear Brimsel, your house sounds beyond my wildest imagination. I beg to see it, and I'm wildly jealous of that cat Pollux. I wish you were here, or I with you. I dare not think of what I'm missing.
Enter a businessman, a film producer, and he was a friend of Cary Grant's. He wants to meet her, so he flies in, and she thought it was so obtrusive. How dare he?
My relationship with Leland felt like it was getting serious, and I felt awful for stringing Luddy along.
And I get the feeling, ultimately, honest with him, probably after being found out or something like that. But I don't think that she ever worked to deceive. And as she said, the attitude was, I'm going over there, get out of my way.
Even before she was a star, don't talk to anybody. And it's when Kate returned to Hollywood, we presume Leland proposed to her. But by then she had figured out she wasn't marriage material. After she turned him down, he started to drift away. Then the story goes, one day while he was away in New York, she received a telegram out of the blue saying that he had married another actress.
Katherine Hepburn scared people, and she frightened people. She was a threat. She was Lilith. She was this thing that was going to come down and sort you out. And oh, by the way, guys, she actually didn't need you to live either. So in that arc of time, we're talking about the middle 30s, when she had 3 films in a row that flopped, there was no mercy.
Everything is looking good again, and she sells the movie to MGM, these studios in Hollywood, to Louis B. Mayer. She can insist on being the star, which is obvious. She can tell him what director she wants, which is Cukor. She knew what she wanted exactly, but she was officially box office poison.
She's what's called a Yankee, and I mean it not the way Southerners call people in the North. She was actually a form of American aristocracy.
And when I sensed Mayer might back out, insisting I tell him who wrote it, I doubled down even.
Lesbian, I don't know. She was probably everything and maybe nothing. She was whatever you dream her to have been, because that's the point. Like, if a guy's too nice, he must be gay.
She certainly didn't mind the speculation about who she was dating or how significant it was that she wore slacks all the time. It kept people guessing about her and talking about her. But when it came to when everyone loves you one year and hates you the next, is that you keep on going. You compromise when you absolutely have to, but even then, you push as hard as you can for the best material you can, and you never quit. You make some stinkers, you make mistakes, but you keep on going. When you find something good, something you really believe in, you put your heart and your soul and your money into it. From Philadelphia's story to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner decades later.
Romeo, Romeo.
When you win an Academy Award when you're in your 20s and then not another one for decades, you don't show discouragement, and you win 3 more when you're in your 60s and 70s, the years when it's supposed to be all over for actresses, but not for you. You do work you're proud of, whether it's for $3.50 a week at the Shakespeare Festival in Connecticut or for millions in Hollywood. You hold up your standards as best you can in an ensemble system. You buy the whole system when you can afford it, and you keep on going. It is such a simple lesson. It's amazing there were not more like her, with her longevity, her multiple lives on film, her emphatic character. But there was only one Katherine Hepburn.
Her thing is, come on, get up, do it. Be, try, make something of yourself, live.
We're floating on a rock in the middle of nowhere, in a universe we know nothing about. Every single individual on this planet is not only just a miracle, but you are exactly that. You are an individual. Live that individual life.